this 40 videos back or something. Don't know which one, but it feels less like I'm squinting my eyes today. There's the park, my two big recipients. They don't look green. They do look happier. So, okay, these are gonna get some focus now. Create a little hole here today. Made it. Okay, I'm about 45-ish minutes into watering, and we just got a system shift. The key component is the timing of the spritzes into the air close to the canopy, below the canopy, at trunk level, like doing a bunch of light spritzes. So the hot landscape gets a little moisture. I'm gonna do some more of that in a moment. But once you reach a certain point, it won't go much further, which is probably here for today. You just wanna now kind of sustain this and pass it on. So I'll go over there and do a few more while these buckets are draining. Meanwhile, normally I would have sort of done that first, but I got out of order, not even sure why, and started filling buckets and then spritzing. So normally I would kind of spritz around to clean out the buckets and everything, and then fill them up and let them really drain for a while, and then kind of do it again and do it on the trunks as I go. So I'm a little out of order, but still basically those techniques are gonna unfold in that way. And I'll try to film a little bit of that today. Hi there, all right. It's close to noon probably, I'm not sure. I can literally feel that we're at a turning point in the airflow. It's gotten moist and cool, even though it's getting hotter in the day. And so I'm gonna break the normal pattern, and I'm gonna put, with this little bucket, I'm gonna start to bathe this trunk now while we're still refilling before we get to 100 gallons of drip. Because what I wanna do is send a chill into the air right now to help hopefully hold on to it, stabilize it, sort of above the ankles, not very high first. While my bucket's gently filled. Got about 4 more to fill here to get up to roughly 100 gallons total on this tree. And so I'm gonna fill those 4 before I do the next level of moisture, probably on the trunk. Next level of washing the baby elephant, as I call it. So be right back. Hello, okay, so the tree over here has basically gotten about half of what it's gonna get, a little more. This one is wrapping up. For this one that we were focusing on just a moment ago, I'm gonna take the remainder of these buckets and do the shoulder level kind of pour. And then I'll come back with some fresh cold water and put it all the way down the trunk. Okay, now hopefully you can see kind of shoulder level for the tree. There's a ring all the way around. And also, when I started just then, I started at the what I call the ankle or the kneecap actually level, midway up, and then did all the way around. And then I fling, you know, with this tiny bucket to try to get it like paint waft up against the trunk. It doesn't take much water, it doesn't take much force. You're kind of trying to shape a water stream in the air. That's all you're doing. Okay, so we're gonna come back and do the final thing on this in just a minute after I get some more water on the other trees here. All right, 12:32 p.m. Just gonna show you the fun part. And intentionally sloppy. Like not bad sloppy, but sloppy is good. You want water to spread around. That's how you deal with the feeder roots and things like that, I think. Some intentional direction, some sloppiness with heavier throws higher up so that it can roll down the bark. Kind of see that. And you know, so many variations on this kind of stuff. Not a great throw, but a throw. That was better. Down the other side. Okay, so hopefully you can see, trying to, like a banana in reverse, wash up the undersides. And then I just get it up there, and it really does help because it spreads out in the air. So the microbiota in the air that want moisture as well, and it spreads out all the way down the trunk. That cools the air. It's already much nicer here. We brought it down a notch again, temperature-wise, and I'm sort of gonna finish out that process. Shouldn't be out of breath, should I? On these two, and then take whatever water I have left, which will be over 100 gallons, and apply it back on the mama trees over here. And that'll be today's session. Back in a bit. Okay, before I do the wrap-up video at 1:48 p.m., we got the haze. Now, all I had to do was moisten the trunks as high as possible at this point. It could be done better. I could have been more careful, methodical, slow. But you can see it'll give us 5 minutes of weather bliss, like what we had yesterday when I drove out of here and what we had this morning. And then the heat will take over. But the imprint, I think, is set on the landscape. There's just a quality in the wood itself now that's black. Again, black shadows are my favorite when you're doing this rehydration stuff. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, I parked here and I was afraid I would get sunburn, but I also knew that if the system clicked on with the canopies, that it would be fine. You know, there'd be enough shade. And that is what happened. It's not perfect because there's hardly any leaves, but there's certainly enough shade to just walk around and not be uncomfortable at all. Okay, all right, hello. It's about 1:50 p.m. and everything is done. Oops. We got haze overhead. That's a major milestone. That's today's victory, is the haze has come, and the haze will stay. We'll have more of it in the morning, most likely. Things did not go according to plan, but that's okay, because the effects are what you're going for. I could have done a better job had I moved a little more methodically and slowly. And so what I did today with water was behind me over there where the two trucks are, where we just walked from, I put about 400 gallons, maybe 380, something like that. And the remaining pretty much ended up over here. A lot through trickle, a little through pour, and a fair amount through, well, a fair amount of coverage through spritz. But spritz, again, you're doing 1 gallon at a time, half a gallon at a time. A small amount of water goes a long way. You're going for coverage. That was better. So it can feel like and look like a lot, because it'll actually, once there's water in the trees, it will change the character of the air. You'll get cool air from just a few, gallons of spritz in the right places, which are usually the hot places or the dry places on the tree or on the land. But anyway, that's the wrap up for this great session. Say one more thing. I'm grateful to a couple of people on the Community Parks Committee here in Harper. Met them today. I was explaining to them it's so much easier just to show up and get started, so people can see I'm really just putting water on trees. There's no hokey pokey or hocus pocus. It's just rehydration of the biggest trees I can get to that are well located for movement of moisture across the landscape, the forced moisture circulation. So these are the two I started with. Those are the three I focused on today. And now I should have more or less a cold cell. This is the end of my treatise here. That will hold and kind of circulate moisture internally right here. It might take one more watering on that mod over there, this mod over here, but I should have kind of an anchor here. Tomorrow I go across the street, hopefully first thing in the morning. Can't really see them from here, but there's big trees over there that I water, and then that should create a bit more of this sort of cycle of attracting moisture to the area atmospherically because of the coldness that the trees can put into the air. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see if it happens. Holy cow, what a beauty. What a beauty. One other thing I forgot to say, it's not as apparent when you walk from the other direction, but I chose to try and put this first tree, starter tree today, in as close to a lush state as I could spare with the water I had. So it got upwards of 150 to 200 gallons. And then the other ones got the lessers. But I just feel like this is an important part of the sort of moisture infrastructure buildup, if you will, is getting a couple of your strong players into an ideal or pretty close to ideal state, and then bringing the other ones on board. So that's another thing I should have done differently today, is just really kind of focus on this tree and a little bit those two and those two, or come back tomorrow and give these all another 100. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's so much better. So much better, and it just seems like there's a lot more headroom for extraordinary to take place. Pulling out of town at 2:07 p.m. There's the Family Dollar, and it's definitely milder. And for a day that's supposedly 10 degrees hotter, it's way milder. I mean, I call victory. Just, except for the trees that are going to be gone for a while, everybody looks happier. No rain. Every tree, every leaf that I see looks now like it's moving out of stress. It's just got to be because moisture moving through the air. It's certainly not because it's the hottest day of April so far. Doesn't look as fire prone because there's green around everything now. It's not. Roll down the window again. You can see the green. It's not just a burned out landscape waiting to happen. It's a green landscape with greening landscape with dead trees. That is a major improvement. Here's some of the worst of it. Unreal. It's way different. It's way better. There are cows grazing out here today. Yesterday, it looked like you would die if you tried to walk out around out there. It's like 25, 27 hours later. Hello. Well, things are great. The believe it or not, for what we got, this is the creek. I did a quick check-in on yesterday. Flag Creek, F-L-A-G. Didn't have that much water in it yesterday when I drove over it. It's 2:11 p.m. It is hotter. It is not drier. There's been no rain. No man's land of Dead Tree Alley out here now has green in the Dead Tree Alley landscape. Yesterday, just yesterday, 25 and a half hours ago, when we drove across it, was still just brown. Terrifying, honestly, to be traversing. Like, man, I hope I don't get stuck out here. And now look at it. It's a carpet of green. The dead things are immediately dropping away. The green things are trying to come alive. This is the worst of Texas. It's like I was saying just yesterday. Let's just think of where we were as the worst it's ever going to get and go back out of this into the green, lush, central, southwest Texas situation. I think people would like that better. Green trees, soft grass, perfect weather. That's where we can go, I think, because this is remarkable. I mean, it's just 1,000 gallons now. And we're in the hottest part of the day, and we're looking better than we were yesterday. So, all right. I don't know, man. I'm back, baby. I'm gonna start crying. This is the most magnificent damn thing I've ever seen in my life.